Namibia to cull of more than 700 wildlife as worst drought in decades is underway. A Namibian government cull of more than 700 wildlife to cope its worst drought in decades is underway, with nearly 160 animals already killed, the Environment Ministry said Tuesday. The government announced the cull last week to relieve pressure on grazing and water supplies and to provide meat for programs to support the thousands of people going hungry because of the drought. Carried out by professional hunters, it targets 30 hippos, 60 buffaloes, 50 impalas, 83 elephants, 100 blue wild beasts, 100 elands, and 300 zebras. Most of the animals are in the country's protected national parks. At least 157 of the 723 animals designated for culling have been killed so far, Environment Ministry spokesperson Romeo Muyunda told AFP. The time it would take to complete the cull depended on various factors, he said. Our goal is to carry out this operation sustainably while minimizing trauma as much as possible. We must separate those animals to be hunted by those that are not, Muyunda said. In compliance with the international ban of the sale of ivory, the tusks from the culled elephants would be stored in government warehouses. To date, 157 animals comprising of different species were hunted, delivering 56,875 kilograms of meat, a ministry statement said. Namibia declared a state of emergency in May because of the drought, which is gripping a swath of countries across southern Africa. The World Food Programme said in August that about 1.4 million Namibians, nearly half of the population, are experiencing acute food insecurity, with cereal production plummeting by 53% and dam water levels dropping by 70% compared with the last year. The wildlife cull has been criticized by animal rights group PETA as short-sighted, cruel, and ineffective outcry. We urge Namibia to reconsider these actions, PETA Senior Vice President Jason Becker said in a letter to Prime Minister Sarah Kugongelwa Amadlila posted on the group's website. The plan is not only cruel but also dangerously short-sighted and will have no long-term impact on these complex problems. The cull could lead to imbalances of ecosystem, Baker said. The killing of even a few elephants could devastate entire herds, leading to increased mortality among survivors and more frequent and dangerous human-animal conflicts, he said in the letter. A group of African conservationists said in a joint statement that the mass cull sets a dangerous precedent of enabling governments to exploit protected wildlife and national parks under the guise of humanitarian needs. The statement questioned where there had been environmental impact assessments or game counts and food insecurity evaluations to form the culling plan. It noted that the scheme comes ahead of November elections in Namibia and claimed that meat was intended to be distributed in areas where the ruling SWAPO party faces strong opposition. The cull is also expected to generate significant revenue from hunting licenses issued to hunters, it said. It also rejected claims that Namibia is overwhelmed by large elephant numbers. The country is estimated to have come to around 20,000 of the animals. The Wildlife Fund say there are about 415,000 African elephant left on the continent, but the species is regarded as vulnerable, with some populations being poached to extinctions even if others are thriving, notably in southern Africa. On the other hand, fuel price decrease welcomed. Trade union UASA and the AA have welcomed the reduction in the fuel price which came into effect on Wednesday. Abigail Moyo, UASA spokesperson, said the lowest fuel prices since early last year kicked in at midnight. The adjusted prices announced by the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy yesterday translate to a fourth consecutive relief for consumers. This will significantly improve the workers' household expenses and cost of living challenges. Moyo added that at midnight, the price of unleaded petrol 93 and 95 will be cut by 93 cents a liter. Wholesale diesel prices will be lowered by 1 rand.05, which is 0.005% sulfur, and 79 cents, which is 0.05% sulfur. The wholesale price of the illuminating paraffin will be cut by 1 rand.03 liter. LP gas will decrease by 10 cents per kg. Moyo said the price drop, combined with the inflation rate of the 4.6% moving closer to the SA Reserve Bank's target level of 4.5%, signals hope for further inflation ease and a much anticipated interest rate by the South African Reserve Bank SARB. The next Monetary Policy Committee meeting is scheduled for September 19th. UASA is pleased with the financial relief and hopes the trend continues to bring relief to workers during the remainder of the year. AA spokesperson Leighton Beard said it was great news that the fuel price had dropped again for the fourth consecutive month. The reason for this welcome news is the perfect combination of the strengthening Rand-US dollar exchange rate since the middle of August and significantly lower international oil prices, which dipped around mid-August and increased the over-recovery of the fuel prices in the period under review. Beard added that the cumulative impact of the last 4 decreases is substantial. Considering, for instance, ULP 93 inland, the decreases amount to around 2.44 liter, which in total will bring about a saving of around 122 rand on a 50-liter petrol tank. In addition to the predicted fuel price decreases for September, consumers should expect the fuel retail margin increase that will come into effect next month. The Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources, Gwede Mantashe, has approved an increase of around 5 cents per liter to the fuel retail margin, which kicks in with the official adjustments for September. Beard said that lower fuel prices are good news for all consumers. Apart from the immediate impact of buying cheaper fuel, input costs across various sectors are not impacted by higher fuel costs. At a time when most South Africans are still struggling to make ends meet, this is welcome news for all. Beard added that motorists wanting to fully benefit from lower fuel prices must also ensure their vehicles are in good mechanical condition, as this ensures better fuel economy. A vehicle that is properly serviced and maintained and whose tires are inflated according to manufacturer's specifications will have better fuel usage than a vehicle that isn't properly maintained. A vehicle that is properly serviced and maintained and whose tires are inflated according to manufacturer's specifications will have better fuel usage than a vehicle that isn't properly maintained. And that's it from Egypt, Africa. Stay tuned to our USA political updates.